everybody, it's Connie with the Artisan Company. Welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day outside today, so I decided to wear my flower shirt because it's just a happy thing. It's just happy. So anyway, I thought today we would do a really simple repurposing project. I do these occasionally, not real often, but we're going to repurpose a bangle bracelet and make it into something that's fantabulous. So let's get started. Well, let's get started on this beautiful repurposed bangle. I had I had some bracelets that were just kind of sitting over in my stash of things, and I thought, wow, it'd be great if I could do something with these. And I know most of you ladies will have something like this at your house. At some point in time, you've worn one of these or multiples of these, just a basic bangle bracelet. This one is almost 4 inches across. It's about 3 3/4 across this way. This one, and it's solid. There's no opening. It's a solid bangle bracelet. Everybody knows what they are. This one I also had, which is about a 3.5 across this way. It has a little hook on it like that, which I thought was kind of cool. That's probably why I bought them. And this one right here is about a 2 millimeter size, and this one is about a 3 millimeter as far as the width of the wire itself. So I decided that I was going to do the silver one today. So I'm going to set the gold one to the side. But I decided to do this one today just because I like the clasp on it. I just think that's just kind of fun and simple. But we're going to do something to spruce this little puppy up. Okay, so what we've got here is you will need a bracelet hoop of some kind, whether you've got one at home or you want to go purchase one. You'll need some 5 millimeter crimp covers. You know, our little crimp covers that we always use. These are 5 millimeter to be able to go over this wire. So kind of large. You'll need some 5 millimeter bead caps. You will need a leather crimp. For the design that I'm doing today, I'm using a leather crimp. You may decide you don't want to do that at all. But this one right here is about a 5 by 10, and that's about a 10 across right there. And when you flip it over, it's about a 5 across right there on the inside. Now, this one's kind of square, but you can purchase them that are more rounded, which would be a lot easier to work with than the square. But I had the square, so that's what I'm using. You'll need some of those. Okay, and then you will need some little small, maybe a 3 millimeter or so finishing bead. You'll need some of those. You will need some roughly 6 7 millimeter, 8 millimeter, whatever size you want, accent beads, and I'm using copper today on this, and mine are 6 millimeter. You will need a bunch of jump rings, and you will need a 5 millimeter jump ring, a bunch of these. Okay, and then this one is a 7 millimeter jump ring. You'll need several of these as well, so don't skimp on your jump rings. They're going to be used as accents, so not just to attach beads, but they're going to be used as an accent. So you'll need a bunch of these. Then you will need what I'm doing. Hold on just a second. You will also need a 1.5 inch head pin, and that's the one with the little flat thing on the top, the little flat thing, not the hoop, the little flat head pin. About a 1.5 inch to 2 inch. Mine's a 2 inch, but I'll cut a lot off of it. And then my actual color that I'm using, these happen to be shells, and they're exactly 10 millimeter squares. Um, they're irregular as far as the thickness goes, so they can be anywhere from 2 to 4 millimeters thick, depending on how it's cut. But I bought these for the color, and I love shells anyway, so I'm using those for my dangles. Okay, so now that we got all that out of the way, you get your materials together and we'll get started. Okay, so I've gotten started on this bracelet just so you can kind of have an idea where we're going. What I have done is, if I can find my little doodad here, I have taken the crimp cover, and the reason why I didn't bend, somebody might ask the question, well, why didn't you just bend that curve right there out? Because this is not like stainless steel or anything like that. It's not a heavy metal. It's usually made out of base metal and it will break. So I decided not to do that. So I took the crimp covers and I attached it at the beginning of the hoop right here. Then I added one of my leather crimps. Let me see if I can turn it over here. Yep. Maybe you can see that side of it. Ken will zoom in on it. But anyway, that's the back side of it. I've closed it up on the back, flipped it over, and then I have taken, I'll show you this one. I have taken the little hoop on it right there, and I have bent it up so it's actually standing out. You can probably see it if I turn it that way, maybe. And what I did was I took my accent bead and I added the bead caps onto the accent bead to make it look finished. I hooked it on to the bigger jump ring, and then I hooked it onto this little loop right here that's on the leather crimp. That's how I did that. Then what I did was I came through and I added my little fun pieces here. So I've got 5 of them here, and you can do any amount that you want to do. If you want 3 there or 2 there or whatever, it's up to you. It's your personal design. I'm just giving you the kind of base floor plan for it, and then you can make it whatever you want to make it. Okay, remember I told you we were going to use the jump rings as accents? And I love doing this. I do this on earrings because it just adds another layer of texture and interest. But I took those little tiny 5 millimeter, sorry, the little, yes, they're 5 millimeter jump rings, and I added right behind that copper bead right there, I added 5. I just added 5 of the little jump rings on there. Then I added my first color, which is this little guy right here. So I put my little 3 millimeter accents on either side to make it look finished, connected it with the larger jump ring. Then I did another one, but I'm alternating my colors. I did the brown one, the chocolate brown. Then I did another blue, another brown, and another blue. Then I did 5 more of the jump rings right there. There's my accent. Going back into another one of the leather crimps right here. And this time I turned the leather crimp going that way. So both of the hoops up here on the top of each one of those are facing each other, not facing out. So that's the pattern. You've got a bead, leather cover. You have the copper accent bead, 5 jump rings, then you have your dangles in the middle, 5 more jump rings, you have a leather crimp with the copper accent bead, and then you're going to start the pattern again. So here's my crimp bead, my crimp. I've got the leather crimp on there right there. Okay, so my next thing is we're going to do the copper accent bead. So you're just going to do one of the crimp covers. I'm sorry, bead caps. Okay, and it just looks like that. Very, very, very simple. You'll need to cut it and loop it. Make a loop on the top. All right, make sure that it is closed up good. Well, come on, baby. There it is. Okay. So it should look like that. I'm holding it up here. Maybe you can see it for Ken. You can see the little thing right there. Okay. Then you're going to take your 7mm jump ring, open it up. You're going to add the bead you just did. It looks like that. Then you're going to add it to that little tiny hoop right there and close it up. All right. So there is starting your next pattern. So you'll have a little break right there, and then you'll start the next grouping of this. Now, like I said before, you do not have to do any of this right here. If you don't want to, this part right here, you don't have to do any of that. You can just do all this if you want to. That's up to you. It's your design. This is just a little small blueprint for you to go by and see what's happening here. Okay, so my next thing is I'm going to put on 5 of the jump rings, the little 5mm ones, and I need my eyeballs down here for this. I have to open it up. Whoop, stop. All right, make sure my hands are in the camera. I've taken a slight bit of a break, so I got to get my head back on right to get this going. All right. Just going to hook it on there like that. And because the 5mm jump ring is so small, you may have to open it up pretty good to get it on there. He is not wanting to. There he goes. For some reason, when I bought these jump rings, I don't know why it was like this, but they were almost folded over. So I was constantly having to retrain them to rebehave. Gotta have them rebehave. So I'm going to do 5 of these right here in a row. My hands, must be the lotion on my hands. They are so slick today. What the deal is. 2. I hope you guys have been doing great. My hubby's had a little bit of a cold issue, so I don't know where he got that, because we're never, it's extremely rare if either one of us are under the weather for any reason. So he's been kind of recovering from that, and we've just had a lot of irons in the fire this week, as I am sure you have too. All right, I need one more for this series right here. And don't get in a hurry doing this. This just takes time. It's not something you can just do really fast. It just takes time. So don't get in a hurry. Put on some music. Just get in a groove. All right. So now I've got 5 jump rings on behind the little accent bead there, the little coppery bead. So the next thing we're going to do is put on our square beads. And what you will do with this is start with a little accent bead, put on your main bead of color that you're going to be using. I just thought these squares would be really different. You're going to cut it, make a loop on the top. Okay, so it should look like this. Hopefully Ken can see that. Should look like that. And we're going to do the other 4 exactly like that. Okay. An accent bead, blue, another accent bead, I love this bracelet design. It's almost like it kind of gives you the feel of a cha-cha kind of bracelet. It's just really fun. It's cute. It's fun, summery. And of course, according to whatever color of beads you choose, it will depend on what you can wear it with. But the cool thing is it's just such a fun thing for the beach, or just any fun evening out, and you just want something that's just not too fussy but fun, and that's would be this. And for me personally, I love bracelets that, and jewelry in general, that make noise. And a lot of people don't, but I love my earrings to jingle, and my bracelets to jingle, and my ankles to jingle. So I'm a jingle kind of girl, but probably because I'm a percussion player, it's like the more noise, the better. But anyway, it's just kind of fun. But this one won't jingle a whole lot, but I probably will be doing one in the future that does jingle, for those of you like me who like to have noise. Your jewelry. Okay, this is the last one for this. And then what I did with this one is I decided to reverse my pattern from the first pattern I did. So the first pattern I had blue, brown, blue, brown, blue. This time I'm gonna have brown, blue, brown, blue, brown, and we'll see what it looks like. You can do yours any way you want to. It's your world, and it's your stuff, and it's what you're gonna wear or gift someone with or sell if you have a little store of any kind. All right, so I've got all 5 of those. The next thing I am going to do is connect all of these onto this using the larger jump ring. All right. So we'll do brown first. Then a blue. This blue, of course, blue and brown, you're looking at those turquoise colors, and I'm telling you, the number 8 turquoise necklace and earrings that I did on the last 2 videos, y'all, that color, the camera just didn't pick it up, but the color of the turquoise was stunning. Oh my goodness, it was so beautiful. I know when the stones arrived, I just wanted to look at them. I just sat and stared at them for a little while. All right, last 2. All right, the last little brown one on this pattern. Oops. Up, where'd he go? There he is. All right. I lost him for a second. Ah, didn't have it on there. I'll tell you what's happening. It's gotten so warm here, and I don't have my air on in the studio yet. I'm waiting till 11:59 to 59 to turn it on, and so I'm getting a little bit of uh, fogginess on my magnifying glass. So I'm like going, okay, quit breathing on it, Shaw. Quit breathing on it. That shows you how close my face is to it. All right. So there's that pattern right there. And there's your 5 jump rings. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the next 5 jump ring, little 5mm ones on right there. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bead all of my shell and my accent beads that I'm putting on here. I'm going to go ahead and do all of those, and then we'll come back and start the next series. All righty, we are down to the last grouping right here, this little bunch right here. And that's the last section I have to put on over here. The reason why I didn't tell you this little thing earlier was because I figured that most people would be doing this bracelet, so you would have to attach each jump ring individually. But this little bracelet right here, because it unhooks like this, all right, just make it a little easier for you. My next thing is the 5 little tiny jump rings, so I'm just sliding it over just like that, sliding it over the end. And you can do this through the whole entire bracelet if you have one like this that unhooks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and then I'm adding these, and I've already put my jump rings on the end right there. So I had blue. You can see, I'm trying to do it where you can see it. Blue, brown, another blue, another brown, and a last one is a blue, which mimics this side over here. All right, so that's the last grouping right there of colored beads. All right, so I'm going to hook this back so that they don't slide off. And the last thing to do is to put this little leather crimp on right here and my last crimp cover. And oh, sorry, nope, I lied. I need 5 more little tiny, let me unhook it here. I need 5 more of the little tiny 5mm jump rings, because remember, they're my accents. And now I can put on the last of the last. Close that up. And you can adjust it, like I said, because these things will slide around. These little 3 pieces here will slide around. You can adjust it as you're going. All right, last thing. Oh, this is so exciting. Let me get this down here where I can get my hands in here. Remember, I'm closing off that little piece right there on the end that's kind of sticking up, that catches actual leather when you're working on it. Okay. Oop, there goes a rolling bead. Okay. This goes on here like so. Hopefully this won't give me any issues. It doesn't look like it's going to. The metal on metal is a trick because it does slide. Okay. So we need our little accent bead. Oh, I didn't make enough. Well, there you go. So I need one of these. I thought I counted it out right, but I guess I did not. Oh well, it's easy. Clip off that end right there. Make a loop on the end of it. All right, make sure that it is closed. Yes, it is. All right, get your polishing cloth, get your oils off of it, especially if it's metal. Get your oils off of that, like so. Okay, get your large jump ring. I'm having difficulty telling if my hands are in the camera today for some reason, so I must not have my angle just right on there. Okay, so I'm looking for my little loop right there on my leather crimp. Close it up like so. And the last thing you're going to put on here is going to be the last crimp cover. Let me slide these around, make sure I've got enough space there. Yes, I do. Let me see if I can find one that's not going to be cantankerous with me. That one going to go? Is it? Sometimes they'll just slide right on, and other times they don't. So I'm going to not do that one. I'm going to try to find one that's going to slide right on, just for time's sake. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. It's always the last bead. Let me keep looking here for the last one. There it is. Well, we are done, and here we go. Look at this little charmy thing. Is this not the most fun? Look at this. And it just shakes and shimmers, and oh my goodness. And like I said, you can use any kind of bracelet wire you had left. here's what we were going to do. I went with this one because of the hook, but oh my goodness, you can do it with either one. Anything you've got you want to repurpose at home. But look how cute. You can do less charms or more charms. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Okay, so I don't normally do this, but I had all of these shells left over from making this bracelet, and I thought, oh my, we need earrings. So I'm adding an earring to the video for this for you. Look at these little guys. Aren't these the cutest? Oh my, look at that. So this is what you're going to need. You can do this with your eyes closed. You will need, this is a marquee shaped ear wire, and it's a 30 millimeter. You can use whatever size you want, but this one happens to be a 30 millimeter. You will need the little 5 millimeter jump rings that we used in the bracelet. You will need a 3 millimeter crimp cover. And the reason why we're using these, and I'll tell you in a minute, is because of the way the wire is bent. So 3 millimeter crimp cover, and then you need a couple of the shells or beads that you had left over, if you had any left over. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this blue piece. I'm doing the blue on the bottom. And these, just so you'll know, these are stainless steel. So trying to open this little loop right here without bending your ear wire is going to be pretty difficult. So we're going to open the top of this instead. All right, so let me get that open. Let me get my eyes down here. Oh my, this is so fun. I'm going to open it just a little bit, not much, just enough to get it on there. I'm going to slide this one on the bottom of the ear wire like that, and then I'm going to close the piece back up that has the shell on it. All right, so it should look like that. The next thing you are going to do is you are going to put on one of these little 3 millimeter crimp covers down on the bottom. Oops, don't roll off, baby. Down on the bottom. Oh my gosh, they're so tiny. And then you're going to close that up very gently. All right, so it should look like that. Then once you've done that, you're going to take your 5 millimeter jump ring. You're going to attach it to the brown shell or the other bead of whatever you're using. It should look like that. Close it up. Okay, it should look like that. All right, then you are going to loop that over the top of the ear wire, just like so. Should look like that. And then the last thing you are going to do is you're going to add the one last little 3 millimeter crimp cover. And it will be on the top of this right here. And you'll close it up very gently. And voila, there you are. You have instant earrings right there to match that beautiful bracelet you just did right there. Oh my goodness. Now, these are, the reason why I'm telling you to use this is because watch. When you get up here to this top part, this bead will not go over it, because it's bent at a certain angle, and you don't ever want to unbend this because you can never get the shape back. I'll just tell you, it's very, very difficult. But anyway, there you go. You got some new earrings ready for tonight. Okay, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.